This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
It's, I mean, you look at the difference in the presentations, this is worth discussing. I feel like in this era, WCW has a much more sports centric feel to the presentation. You had all the cruiserweights and things like that and the different weight classes, but you also had a more standard entrance, if you will. Everybody comes through and gets, maybe a little bit of pyro here and there, but it doesn't feel like there's this big, hey, let's take all the lights down and make them blue and let's pump the smoke out. And then I don't know, maybe Goldberg is part of that too. It just had a very sports feel to it. This is much more character driven. Just look in the ring right now. The Undertaker, Kane, and Mankind. And you compare that to like the top of the card for WCW, and it's Goldberg, Hogan, Kevin Nash, Sting, Lex Luger.
Right.
It just feels more, I don't know, realistic, whereas this is more comic book, maybe a little bit. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it makes plenty of sense. And I'll take it a step further. When Vince Russo came to our side, he tried to make us what this was. And instead of becoming our own, having our own identity, which is what you just been talking about.
Yeah.
We were seen as a cheap knockoff of them.
I hate to reference it, but as I know you have a huge personal issue with Eric Bischoff, but he says,
whoa, stop it.
What?
I don't have a huge personal issue with Eric, but look, you not only a lie, you a lie motherfucker. But go ahead.
Before we got on the air, you cut a 38-minute promo on Eric Bischoff.
No, I did not. See, you a lie, comma, motherfucker.
Anyway, he always says in wrestling, you've got to decide, not just in wrestling, but in business. If you're not the leader to the market. So if someone was trying to compete with WWF here, they would have to be more than, less than, or different than. The idea being, can you do the storytelling and character development better than WWE? And the answer is probably not. So should you try to be a less than version? And I think WCW did try that in the era where you guys were doing mini movies with little people blowing up boats and shit like that. Or do you want to be different than? And I think that's what the NWO was. Like, you look at WCW sort of before and after the NWO, and you had lots of silliness. Who's the mysterious benefactor? And, oh, did DDP hawk his jewelry? Did someone win the lottery? Oh, look, here comes Glacier right out of a video game. And then that whole, I am Mr. Wonderful and the Dungeon of Doom. It's not hot. All of this cartoonish, we pushed the giant off the top of the building, but don't worry, he came back to life and won the world title. Anyway, now you've got the NWO, and it just feels like a major paradigm shift for WCW. And no longer will we be less than, we'll be different than. And it worked.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree.
What do you think about that?
That's pretty good. That's pretty fucking cool.
It's a heavy on story.
Yeah.
But a nice little finish. And you go off with a big cliffhanger. And what do you know? The Undertaker did get his title shot because he's the number one contender. And now he's got a title shot. But their tag partners have fully loaded. So we're off to the races. But there you go, man. You can put a feather in your cap now. You've seen the Raw that went head to head with the biggest Nitro ever. Hulk Hogan and Goldberg from the Georgia Dome. What'd you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle?
I was going to say thumbs in the middle until I saw that ending. But I like the ending, so I'm going to say thumbs up. I think that saved it.
I think it saved it too. Still the most memorable thing everybody talks about from that same show, the Nation parody. By the way, Nitro that night had Booker T and Dean Malenko for the TV title. Canyon and Raven working to a no contest. Putski picking up a win over Riggs. Jericho working with Ultimo Dragon for the Cruiserweight title. Chavo working with Johnny Swinger. The Public Enemy working with Alex Wright and Disco Inferno. Goldberg beating Scott Hall. Juventud Guerrero working with Psychosis. The Giant working with Jim Duggan. DDP with Carl Malone working with Jim Neidhart. Lex Luger and Sting with Kevin Nash and Conan, part of the Wolfpack, beating Kidman and Sick Boy. And then on top, Goldberg beating Hulk Hogan. Woof, what a show. I liked both shows. There were things in both shows I could appreciate, but looking back, to me, it was clear Nitro was the big winner that night.
Yeah, it was because of where we were, the excitement. I mean, if you put them both up together and just based on fan reaction and fan excitement, obviously we were the better show. Even because after he pinned Mankind and the lights came on, you could see the fans weren't into it at all.
No, I mean, they wanted to see big action. And of course, I'm sure they got a great dark match after the show there, and it was tremendous, but it was what it was, man. Nitro was meant to be, and they won pretty handily.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.